Episode 9 of my How to Support series brought to you by Doglightning Grandmaster Neeko Support Main. This week we are going over Baron control, over defensive vision, how to get vision if the enemy team's doing it, how to guard and how to bait Baron. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Like, comment, subscribe as always, and let's begin. Okay, so first I'm going to be going over defensive vision around Baron for both sides of the map you be playing on. Fair warning that if you've watched my vision control videos, that this video might be a bit of a rehash. And you can skip to the guarding and the baiting Barons later. This warding area, a lot of it's going to be rehash. So anyways, to start off, first of all, if you're defending Baron on this side, you want to hopefully have a teammate place a pink in this bush. If not, you'll have to. And you want to place your pink in this bush. It's really important to have a pink in this bush because as the Tenny team comes in here, they cannot get control of the bush because even if they try to ward it, you can keep control and you can sit in here. Next, you want to get vision around the Baron because you don't want the enemy team to guard it, jump in. One ward that lower elo players do a lot is they place the ward in this bush. I don't like it. It's not very good. I would rather place my ward in right here. And then you come to the pit, place one over the wall here. And you try to place one over the wall into this tri-bush. And the reason you do this is because usually the enemy support, if you understand you playing support, what's the first thing you do when the enemy team's doing Baron? You take your sweeper, you walk up with your sweeper like this, and you try to place a ward of the wall. This ward over here won't get seen. This ward won't get seen by your sweeper as they come over to place the ward. And then as they walk around this way, you have a control ward here. So yeah, this is the kind of defensive line I like to put on this side of the map when I am defending Baron. Because again, it's really important that the sweeper doesn't see it. If your team has a bit more control of the Baron before you go in, you can go for a bit of a deeper line. One like this. You put a ward there. You put a ward over the wall here. And you put a ward here. This gives you a bit of a... It gives you a bit of a more offensive line while you're on the defense. While you're doing the Baron, you can now get the idea of their jungler coming in a bit earlier, but you don't get the ward over the wall. And then if they walk past this line, you can just place the ward so you can have vision. So that's like the main warding I would do on this side of Baron. And I'll show you if you are attacking from this side. So let me just go quickly replace my control wards. Sec. Just getting all the wards off the map. You can see on my mini map, just spamming them. They're all gone. Okay. So when we're defending Baron on this side, from attackers coming in this side, you don't need to place the ward in the pit because you're not worried about the enemy coming from behind. So you want to place your ward actually outside the pit. And hopefully if a teammate does this, you can place your ward over here. The reason why it's really important here is if the enemy team is attacking from here, they're going to come here and they're going to place a ward on the wall like this, and it's going to get seen. Or they're going to come over here, place a ward like this, right? Either way, you don't need the ward in the pit. And again, here it's good because usually I'm going to show you now the basic line I'll do is I'll put a ward here. Right? I'll have a ward over here in this bush. This one will usually get killed. There's not really a great one. And I actually really like, for instance, a ward right here, although your last ward doesn't really matter. These two ones are the main one. I like that one because, again, if they sweep and walk in, they usually won't see that one. And same if they sweep and walk in, they usually won't see it, and it'll get vision of both sides. But, yeah, the reason why you put a control ward here is as the enemy team comes in and they use their sweepers to kill this ward, you can fight them off. And if they try to ward the bush you're in, you can back up to this bush and kill the ward before they can kill your control ward because yours takes 4 hits and theirs takes 3, and you're also zoning the attacks. So this is like a general line I like to use. And again, if you have more of offensive push before you do Baron, I would like to do something maybe more like this style, where I go like that, and I make my war line like that. So I have the new thingy where it gets me have forwards, right, and something like that. So you get a bit more of an offensive line, so you can see them from far away. Yeah, so in general, that's my basic defensive warding of Baron, and now we're going to go into the offensive warding of Baron. So offensive warding of Baron. Again, this is a bit of a rehash if you saw my warding guides, and you can skip this if you have. This is going to be how you offensively ward. So if the enemy team has control of Baron and you have to push in, how do you get control? Well, first of all, before I get into that, rule number 1 is you should always have a ward on Baron. So one rule is if I'm on this side of the map and I like to come in, a really good ward that people don't necessarily know is right behind this plant like that. Is a really good ward as it gives vision up to the front of the pit. So if the enemy team comes in and does Baron, you'll see them go in and you'll know, except if they use their sweepers, they won't see that ward. So that's a really good sneaky ward to get in front of Baron if you don't want to get swept. Of course, just putting a ward like this is always good too. And if you're on this side of the map, a really good ward to place is you want to place it over the world, but you don't want to place it here. You actually want to place it right over here if possible. And the reason for that is when their team comes in, the ward is captured by the Baron. It's not that hard to fix. They can just go something like this to hit it, but it means that they have to put more effort into killing it, and they might be a bit more distracted. So as they come in, you can maybe hit a combo on them as they try to get this ward. It's just a lot easier for you to defend out of the wall. So first tip to attacking Baron is before it even gets to the point where you have to face check bushes, try to have vision on Baron and try to get in places where they won't be able to sweep, as it'll make it less scary. But anyways, so say we're attacking Baron from this side. They're on Baron. They swept our wards here. We have no vision on Baron, so I'll just get rid of my wards here. So we have no vision on Baron, and we think they might be doing it. Well, first of all, does your champ have abilities to face check bushes or not? So like for me on neeko, I simply go like this, and I send my clone in, and I walk up, right? And then I come here, I use my sweeper, and I go for a max range E, see if anyone gets baited, and I walk over, and I place the ward on the wall, right? And I come on in. Actually, I'll show you with the sweeper, the proper movements, actually. It's actually a really important thing. So when you're face checking this bush here with the sweeper, usually what you do is you don't want to walk in a straight line like this, because if anyone was in the bush, as you walk out, they'll combo you. What you usually do is there's probably going to be a ward over there. What you do is you start your sweeper and you hug the wall like this, making it so that if they're here, they don't really see you once you walk past here. So usually what you do is you take your sweeper and you walk around the wall like this, and you walk up and you walk here like this. At this point, the sweeper shows you the bush, and if there's anyone in the bush, you won't have vision of them, but you'll be able to see because of the sweeper. And actually, I can show you that, for instance. So if I get my wards down, right, and I put an enemy in this bush, right? So there's an enemy in the bush. So what you do is you're trying to check this bush. You start your sweeper and you hug the wall like this, and you walk around, and then you can see the enemy in the bush and attack them before they get the chance to get on you. So that's actually a really important sweeper path that you need to be able to take. Anyways, this is all assuming you have abilities to face check. If you do not, you have to wait till you have your front line or your tank to go and have your tank help you face check. So yep, I showed you how you would face check this way to go through. If you had your tank and you were coming this way, you'd have your tank go in front of you, and you'd come over and maybe throw a max range root or something, but you wait for your tank to come and check this bush for you, and then you come over here and you usually place a ward over the wall, right? Hit this if it's there, except realistically they're going to hit it. And you come over and place a ward, even though, like I said, they should have a control ward here, which will spot this ward and disable it. You'll still get a slight second of vision to know. And when you place it, if you don't see any enemies sitting here and they're all standing there, that'll give you time to walk over here and come in, right? And they won't see you. So that's what you want to do for that. And the final way to push Baron from this side is if you don't want to face check these bushes, and you think they're on Baron, you have your whole team go mid and shove the mid wave into the tower or whatever, and then you can come in, your tank can face check here while you walk this way or something, right? And you can come in, your team's face checking over here. There could be someone hiding this bush, use your stuff, make sure there's no one there, get a ward down and get a ward over the wall, right? So that's another path you can take when face checking. So these are the main three lines you take. You either go over here, you want to use your sweeper like this and walk around like that, right? You're walking this way, you have your tank in front of you, you use your sweeper starting now to make sure you're not walking over vision. Thank you for the follow, whoever's doing this off stream. And get vision this way, or you can go through the mid, shove it in, and you can face check through this way. Those are like the three main ways. When you're attacking the Baron on this side, I've almost never seen a team go this way. It's just very, very long and out of the way, although I'm sure it can be done. I don't usually see that because the path is really long. And now, it's hopefully not wasting too much time, we're going to show you how to attack from the other side. So if you're attacking from this side, it can be a bit more scary and sketchy because you don't have vision on these bushes. Again, if you're not like me with neeko and have someone to come with you, you wait for a tank to come, face check these bushes, and you start your sweeper here, right? And you go through. It's very simple. Start, sweeper, 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 walk up and place a ward over the wall. Again, the reason I like a ward here and here is because, as you notice, my main goal is to get vision on the Baron. So I'm going to be walking on my sweeper and walking here, and this ward wouldn't get seen. Another path is you have your tank with you and you're coming from base and your tank in front of you. Again, always make sure you have teammates with you to face check using your abilities and whatever to check, make sure there's no one in the bushes. Walk down. This time you will discover the ward here and place it. And the last path, which is actually one of the safer paths to take, which honestly in lower elo most people don't do for some reason, but in high elo, especially on this dragon, people take this path a lot, is you actually just want to go this way. It's very unlikely they'll have their team guarding this side. They're usually guarding like over here. So your whole team can just come down like this pretty safely. You can get a ward over the wall, walk down, place a ward in this bush, make sure no one's there, place a ward over the wall here, make sure no one's over the wall there. And now when we're standing here, we're pretty safe. We came through here, there's no one on our side here, and we can come in and fight the team evenly here for the Baron. So yeah, this is the way I would, for the most part, be attacking. Oh, and of course, the same as on the other side. You can push out the mid wave, right? And then shove it down this way. So those are the ways you can attack Baron on each side. I hope it helps. And now we're going to go on to Baron baiting. Okay, so now we're going to be going over a topic called Baron baiting. So what is a Baron bait? A Baron bait is when you go and you threaten Baron to force the enemy team to come in, but your goal is not to actually do the Baron. Sometimes you can start the Baron and sometimes you can't. It depends on the state of the game and how pushed they are. If you had control of this area, then you don't have to start the Baron. You can just start the bait over here, right? But if you were over here and you didn't have control of that area, you might actually have to go over to the pit and start the Baron to bait. But the whole idea is this is a Baron bait. The idea is you are looking to bait a fight and not complete the Baron. So the first step is usually before you ever do Baron, you want to get a pick. Doing it 5v5 is risky because Baron's doing damage to you, and then you're basically at a disadvantage when the fight starts. But if you get a pick on the enemy team and you start a Baron bait, you're at an advantage because even if you take damage from Baron, you have numbers. So usually you don't want to do this unless you've gotten a pick or something first. It's really important. So say you get a pick here, don't depend on your team to know to do a Baron bait. You have to spam ping Baron over and over again, ping it, and type in chat bait. If you don't do this, your team will not know that you want to do Baron, and they won't know to bait, and they'll probably run it down mid. You have to remember, once you get a kill, you have about 25 seconds to do something. So if you guys waste 10 seconds mid lane pushing before you go to Baron, it'll be too late. You have to go right away, instantly. In Grandmaster Elo, people don't even type it. Like, as soon as you get a pick, everyone's basically already running over to Baron. So the first step is to do that. Second step is to do a Baron bait. The enemy team cannot have vision. So you have to walk over and use your sweeper and make sure that the enemy doesn't have vision of the Baron. So you go over like this, right? Sorry about that. That was from earlier. You make sure you put a control ward so they don't have vision on it. You make sure they don't have vision in this bush. You walk over, use whatever movement spells you have, possibly get vision on this bush. And then you want to get vision line down to make sure that you can camp. And the whole idea here is, since the enemy team doesn't know you're on Baron because you have swept all these bushes, you put a control ward, they have no idea if your team is in any, and you basically just want to have your team 5-stack a bush. Your whole team goes in this bush in 5 stacks, your whole team 5 stacks this bush, your whole team's 5 stacks this bush. It doesn't matter which bush you stack, you just want to all stack a bush, because the enemy team's going to have to enter somehow. And if the enemy team walks through this way, you're all sitting here and you all fight them. If they come here and they start walking this way, your team rotates over and fights them, right? If they come through this way, hopefully one of your teammates had a ward over here in this bush and helped you out or something, and you guys can jump down and fight them this way. The idea of a Baron bait is not to do the Baron, but to fight them. Sometimes you have to fight them just a little bit. So let me get more wards to replace. So say you got a pick. This vision line would be like if you got a pick over here and you pulled in. Say you got a pick right here and you can't go and sweep over here because it's enemy territory and the enemy could be there. You want to get more of a defensive vision line down, right? Something like this, right? You place your control ward here, and maybe you just sit in here. Your team starts the Baron, and as the team funnels in, you force a fight, and your whole team jumps off the Baron. These are the main ways that you would start a Baron bait. And yeah, I guess I'll show it from this side too. If you were doing a Baron bait, you would get vision down. So say you got a pick and someone's coming in. A really good ward actually is you place a ward over the wall here, right? You place a ward over the wall here, and you just chill, right? Now, if you use your sweeper and you know there's no ward, your team can just chill in this area. And if the enemy team walks in this way, right, you guys can all come over and stack this bush maybe and fight them. If you see the enemy team coming this way, you guys can stack this bush, or you guys can even stack over the wall right here and come and get them there. Or if they come in this way, you can sit here and fight them like that. It's really important. You just get a sweeper, basically. Make sure they don't have vision. You place your wards down and you just camp a bush and wait till they come for you. So yeah, and if you're on the enemy's team and you were pushing in, that's, remember when I said where you need to have a tank with you and you don't want to, you either have to use, like, remember when I said you come in here and you use Neeko's W, or if you're chain a champ that can't do that, you have to wait for your tanks to come face check, because if the enemy team's baiting a Baron, they could be camping any of these bushes, any of these areas that you don't have vision. You have to assume the whole enemy team is in there and baiting you. So yeah, I hope this helps clarify what a Baron bait is and how you do it. And next I'll be teaching you the final tip for this video on how to do Baron guarding. Okay, so now instead of baiting, we're going to be talking about guarding. Guarding is very similar to baiting, except instead of you looking for a team fight, you are looking to solo zone the whole enemy team out. It's usually your tank and your ADC and jungler are going to be on the buff because they have smite, and usually the mid laner and the support are working together to zone. It depends on your mid laner. If you have a Cassio mid laner, then maybe they're going to be on the Baron, right? But usually the support and someone else is guarding the Baron. And the idea of guarding the Baron is you are stalling the enemy team from coming in while trying not to die. So again, you need to have your sweeper and make sure you've swept the whole area. The same thing as before. You get your same vision down that you would usually get down. So something like this, right? Put a ward there and a ward here and a ward over here in this bush or something. But now you are guarding. So if you sit in this bush, you are waiting till the enemy comes in, you throw your root Q and you walk away, and you don't hide. Like when you were doing the bait, you would be hiding in the bush and waiting for them to come. When you're guarding, you're just trying to pressure. So as they walk in here, you're just constantly being annoying, trying not to get caught, slow them down. They're usually going to come in and force their way in here. You can't stop them. Do not fight them. You're just looking to apply pressure and make sure the enemy can't get in as long as possible. If you have to, and the Baron is, say, like at very low HP and they're about to be coming in and their jungler is going to come in, it's really important you stop them. It doesn't matter if you die. You go in and ulti flash, stop the team from coming in. Your job as the guarding is to stop the team from coming in. So even if you're here and say the enemy team was coming in this way, you would like obviously kill this blast cone and you would just be zoning and trying to stop them from coming in. Say they were coming in from this side, you would change your rotation, you would stand over here and you would just try to block and make sure that they can't come in. Your whole job of the guarder is you are just trying to stop the enemy jungler specifically from coming to the Baron. It can even be as simple as if you can't stand out there, you can stand here, and as the Baron gets really low, you're looking to land CC on the jungler so we can't smite it. So yeah, and I'll show you from the other side. So if I was guarding from this side, let me go refresh my control wards. And let's place our regular wards, get those off the map. So if I was guarding the Baron from this side, again, you usually have a control ward here, ward, right? Ward, and a ward. Let's see if we can disable the dummies. So usually when you're guarding on this side, I usually start off by standing in this bush, but obviously if the enemy team comes that way, you go. And it's really important to try and hold this control ward. It makes it really hard for the enemy team to come in. So if the enemy jungler walks over here and he tries to sweep this bush, you can go and attack him, right, and back off and just keep poking. If they try to put a ward in this bush, you can back up and start killing the ward and just poking them and zoning them off. If they manage to force their way in, again, you just back up. You're just looking to zone. And if they get in too close and they make it down to here and your team's Baron's about to die, you just engage on the Baron, on the jungler, as your team does Baron. Really simple. Same stuff from this side. If you're here and they're coming down this way and you see them, you know, you see the enemy, you were camping this bush and you see the enemy here, right, and the enemy's walking over there. You come over here, right, and you see the enemy there, and you look to hit them. You don't usually pass this line when guarding this way because as you walk out here, you're very vulnerable to someone over the wall here jumping on you, someone over here blast coning behind you, I don't know, even someone jumping over this wall and coming. You just don't usually pass this wall. Because of that, they will usually get a control ward on this bush, and you won't be able to see anyone around here, and you're just going to be looking to guard from this angle and just stand in between. You know, if you have to, push back as far as here, but if their jungler walks up far enough, again, you're just looking to root him and just delay their time that they can get onto Baron, so that your team can take it. If your team can't finish it on time, then it'll turn into a Baron bait and they should turn. But if you're doing a good job of guarding, you're just trying to stall the enemy. I can't emphasize that enough, is you're not trying to fight the enemy, you're trying to stall them. If it takes your team, say it takes your team 35 seconds to do Baron, and the jungler comes and tries to take this ward, you waste 5 seconds, he gives up, goes this way. Now it's been 15 seconds. Now he spends like 5 to 6 seconds finding you here, and by the time he gets here, now it's been 25 seconds. There's 5 seconds left for Baron, and you're hitting him, right? That's the whole idea. When you were doing the Baron bait, you weren't looking to guard as much. You were just holding bushes, and they can just like walk in quicker, and you're not going to be able to finish it. But on the guarding, you're looking to stall as much time as possible, play very risky, where you could get caught maybe, but you're just trying to stop the enemy from getting in. But I hope this helped you guys with the Baron baits ideas. If you have more ideas for videos, let me know. The series might be coming to an end soon. I've covered a lot of what I wanted to cover so far, and I'm coming out of ideas. I feel like a lot of this video was kind of rehashing other stuff a bit, and I feel bad about that. So yeah, if there's something you guys specifically want to see, let me know. The only thing I haven't covered that I still need to is team fighting, but I feel very what's the word, intimidated by doing a video on team fighting, since I only play Neeko and I don't have footage of other supports like enchanters and tanks and stuff. I just don't have footage to show you team fights of them, and I feel like the style of video I usually do where I'm just explaining with dummies and stuff might be a bit hard to do with things like tanks and stuff. So yeah, if you have ideas, let me know, and like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and see you later, guys.